Deborah in here. I don't see Miss Deborah.
We're not going to tolerate any outbursts, no applause. We got to get this meeting in. So I'll thank you if everybody can keep the outburst out. Next, we have proclamations and courtesy resolutions. First, hometown hero, William Larry Mott.
Is Doug the great hometown hero. We want to thank you very, very much for, again, hosting us at your quarterly meeting to honor one of our own who gave everything so that we could be free. Tonight is a deceased hero who served in the Marine Corps. As a result, I would like to ask retired Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Reed to make our presentation.
Our Marine hero is Marine Corps Private First Class William L. Larry Mott. Would the Mott family please join me up here? And Commissioner Johnson and Commissioner Byrd, would you join us up here, please? Mayor, would you please read your proclamation?
Honorary proclamation honoring hometown hero. Whereas William Larry Mott, one of 4 sons born to parents Willie and Polly Mott, lived with his parents and younger brothers Alan, Vernon, and Terry in Jefferson City, Tennessee. He demonstrated a strong work ethic, and at age 13, while a student, began working in the local sawmills to earn money to buy clothes. Vernon, his younger brother, shared that Larry liked to dress and he appreciated good tailoring. Private First Class Larry Mott, at age 18, enlisted in the United States Marine Corps on January 8, 1968, U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. It was escalating and protests were becoming more frequent and intense, and he desired to serve his country. Private First Class Larry Mott continued with the family military history and wanted to serve in the Marines due to their reputation to help his mother financially. First Class Larry Mott received basic training at Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego, California. He was trained as a rifleman and assigned to the sniper platoon, HQ Company, 1st Marines, 7th Marines. He was sent overseas and arrived in Vietnam on July the 21st, 1968. While deployed, Private First Class Larry Mott's unit participated in a program to improve relationship with the local population, building small bridges, culverts, schools, and digging wells. Private First Class Larry Mott was assigned as part of a 2-man sniper team along with Jay Taylor from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Taylor was a specially trained marksman, and Private First Class Mott served as his spotter. Despite the horrors of war, his letters to home were never anything negative. He spoke mostly about the men he was fighting with and the surroundings. In late January 1969, Private Larry Mott was attached to Company E, 2nd Battalion, 26 Marines. In a defensive perimeter as a sniper scout, the unit was engaged in Operation Lynn River, a clear and switch operation in the Republic of South Vietnam. On January 29, 1960, Private First Class William Larry Mott's unit came under enemy fire. He was struck in the neck and killed at age 19. Private First Class Larry Mott was brought home and laid to rest next to his mother in Jefferson City, Tennessee. He was posthumously awarded the Purple Heart Medal. He is honored on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. After the war, Jay Taylor authored a book about his experiences, Point of Aim, Point of Impact. He and Private First Class Larry Mott had been reassigned to separate locations, and he dedicated the book to his good friend and comrade, Larry Mott. Now, therefore, I, Mark Potts, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of Jefferson County and in conjunction with the Jefferson County Commissioners, express our sincere thanks, deepest sympathy, and condolences to the family of the late Private First Class William Larry Mott. He will always be remembered for the sacrifice he made for Jefferson County, Tennessee, and the United States of America. Thank you so much, family, for being here.
Yeah, thank you,
Here's your proclamation.
thank you.
Vernon, would you please come up? I want to tell you what a honor, but I hurt because I know what he went through.
Yeah,
And he gave his all. I was lucky, and a lot more like me were.
that's why y'all, some of y'all men are still standing because of my brother. Yeah,
And then the baby brother, where's he at?
I'm
You are. You're 2 years old when
yeah, 2 years old.
when PFC Mott was killed in action. 1969 in Vietnam was a hectic time. I got there in '69. As soon as I got there, they ran more close air support, more operations than they had seen in quite a while. But it's an extreme honor for me to stand here in presence of a Gold Star family who have given so much for the freedom. And I'm standing next to a Marine right here. You're a Marine, right?
Yes,
Always a Marine.
always worry.
Not a former Marine, a Marine. It is with great honor that I present this plaque to you. It's from the Grateful Nation. And that's the back.
Appreciate that.
Thank
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you so much.
Yes, sir. Mr. Reed, appreciate it.
Can I hold your book just a minute?
You sure can. Chapter 11, right there, William.
While the mayor was reading the proclamation, and he summed up a lot, this is the book that was written by Jay Taylor, Point of Aim, Point of Impact. Being a sniper and being a spotter or a sniper was an extremely hazardous job. But you can see a picture of Larry right here. We should be proud as Jefferson County. And sir, all of you, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He
Thank
loved
you.
his country.
Thank you, sir.
He loved his
Thank you.
country and he loved his schoolmates.
I know you
Yeah.
will.
Thank you. Do you? Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right.
While we're getting ready, I want you to know that we have our veteran service officer with us tonight. We've got over 4,000 veterans in this county. She's doing a great job as our VSO. Thank you very much.
Tell them this will be on display.
This will be on, this will be in our place of honor in the courthouse lobby until the next county commission meeting. So if you stop in, make sure you pay your respects. Great man for a great county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next proclamation is for John Neal Scarlett, and I'll ask John Neal's family if they would come forward. Still a little bit hard to imagine him not sitting there. It's been that recent. I never told him, but I kept a notebook when I was chair, and I wrote down John Neal-isms, that little things he would say, like a chicken commits to breakfast, but a hog's committed chicken contributes to the hogs committee, so it got little things like that. But anyway. Whereas John Neal Scarlett, longstanding member of the Jefferson County School Board, Jefferson County Commission, and longtime member of the Jefferson County Farm Bureau, departed this life on Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. John Neal, a loyal, loving husband, father, brother, and friend, was a graduate of Jefferson County High School and attended the University of Tennessee. He was a third-generation row crop farmer and a dairy farmer who loved Jefferson County and lived his life in service to others. In 1993, he served as Tennessee Young Farmers Ranchers Chairman and was a recipient of the Tennessee Young Farmers of the Year Award and was runner-up for National Farmer of the Year Award. John Neal Scarlett was elected to Jefferson County Commission in 2010, representing the residents of District 7, New Market, Tennessee. He served with dedication and distinction with the needs of Jefferson County, always in his thoughts and deeds. John Neal Scarlett served the Jefferson County Commission as parliamentarian, chair of the Budget Committee, member of the County Planning Committee, and others. He was the voice of reason. His guidance and wisdom will be missed. John Neal Scarlett, a public servant, loved, respected, and admired by family and friends, is worthy of special recognition and appreciation. He served with dedication, integrity, and uncompromising principle, and will be sadly missed by Jefferson County. Now, therefore, I, Mark Potts, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of Jefferson County, express sincere thanks, deepest sympathy, and condolences to the family and friends of the late John Neal Scarlett for the contributions he made to Jefferson County, Tennessee. Also, we want to present you a county flag. John Neal was still serving as an elected official, so we want to give you a county flag to go along with that, and here's your proclamation. And thank you so much. Thank you. At this time, we'll ask the Palmieri family to come up and the commissioners from his district. We all know how he loved these meetings.
He sure did.
Come on up. Mayoral proclamation. Alan Palmieri, a resident and former political leader of Jefferson County, departed this life on Monday, January the 6th, 2025. Alan Palmieri served 5 terms as mayor of Jefferson City, 3 terms as mayor of Jefferson County. He served diligently to promote the well-being and advancement of Jefferson County during both difficult and good times in an ethical and professional manner. Under his leadership, many positive changes were made, including but not limited to participating in negotiations that led to the new construction of New Jefferson Memorial Hospital, expansion of the Jefferson County Nursing Home, Danridge Park, which brought about the greenhouse concept, and the construction of the state-of-the-art E911 emergency medical complex, and the utilization of a vacant county building to be used as Jefferson County Maintenance Garage. He also helped launch the Tennessee Achieves Scholarship Program. Alan Palmieri, prior to his political work, was a well-known businessman, having been employed by Magnavox North American Philips in various positions for many years. He felt the need to establish Palmieri Health and Fitness Center, which was known by being one of the premier health and fitness and bodybuilding facilities in the county. As a bodybuilder, he was inducted to the Steve Sprayer Classic Anatomy Gym Bodybuilder Hall of Fame in Louisiana as the owner and principal of Palmieri Consulting. He provided domestic and international service to public government entities in domestic and international fields. Alan Palmieri, a public servant, loved, respected, admired by family and friends, will be sadly missed by Jefferson County. Now, therefore, I, Mark Potts, by virtue of authority vested in me as mayor of Jefferson County, express sincere thanks, deepest sympathy, and condolences to the family and friends of the late Alan Palmieri. Sorry. This time we'll ask Susan Modern family to come to the podium. Buy my lunch.
Yeah, I'll buy you lunch.
Okay. Wait a minute. Have an influx here all of a sudden. Susan Modern served the Jefferson County Soil Conservation District faithfully for the past 10 years until she departed this life Wednesday, March the 26th, 2025. Susan was a loving wife, mother, grandparent, daughter, sister, and special friend to all who had the privilege of knowing her. Susan was a member of Statham Gap Missionary Baptist Church and served in all the activities. She was a special lady who had a radiant smile and a glowing face when sharing her love of God. Her faith never wavered during all her challenges. Susan Modern was a member of the East Tennessee Hereford Association, the Jefferson County Livestock Association. She loved helping on the farm and enjoyed baling hay, canning, and crocheting. Loving her family and helping others when she was able were her happiest times. Susan Modern was loved, admired, and respected by family and many friends. She will be remembered for her helpful, caring attitude and friendship. Susan is worthy of special recognition and appreciation for dedication, outstanding leadership, and commitment to Jefferson County. Now, therefore, I, Mark Potts, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of Jefferson County, express sincere thanks, deepest sympathy, and condolences to the family of the late Susan Modern. Susan was also employed working with the county at the time of her death. We will give her a county flag as well.
Thank you. I'm gonna stay a little bit. Somebody to keep him straight.
That's right. We do. One more. Joe James, family. They here. I'll read the proclamation anyway. Joe James of White Pine, Tennessee, owner and operator of Circle J Excavating and friend to all, departed this life on Tuesday, January the 28th, 2025. God made a farmer, God made Joe James. He was a caretaker and good steward to agricultural farmland and to the Oak Grove and White Pine communities, as well as Jefferson County. He's willing to get up before dawn and work all day cultivating the land, raising crops, and livestock. Joe was able to skillfully maneuver equipment, both large and small, moving dirt with ease. He was able to tame cantankerous equipment. He was resilient, adaptable, and innovative. He was always helping community members, friends, and family. His private, humble nature did not call attention to himself. He loved working on the family farm, and at one time was the largest soybean farmer with over 600 acres. Joe James, always smiling, was a selfless individual and the epitome of the volunteer spirit. Now, therefore, I, Mark Potts, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of Jefferson County, express thanks and deepest sympathy and condolences to the family and friends of the late Joe James. Thank you, sir. Okay, hold on. They need the microphone back.
What's that?
The constable said, no, we're moving the lectern over here. Okay. us all here. There you go.
Thanks, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners and fellow citizens. We're here tonight to honor three men who have given not only their time but their hearts to the service and safety of Jefferson County. Our former constables, David Kelly, Nathan Thurman, and Mackie Wilson. Together, these men have answered hundreds of emergency calls, many in the middle of the night, many without recognition, and all without asking for a single dime of taxpayer money. Their dedication has been steady, selfless, and deeply rooted in a love for this community, and their impact is immeasurable. Constable David Kelly has served our county with honor for 18 years. His quiet professionalism and unwavering presence have been a source of security for countless citizens. Constable Nathan Thurman has given 16 years of service, and Constable Mackie Wilson 5 years. But what makes their stories even more special is that they both followed in the footsteps of their fathers, continuing a legacy of community protection and service that spans generations. These men have stood in the gap when needed most, supporting other law enforcement, assisting with special events, responding to emergencies, and being a trusted local presence even when every second mattered. This is more than a recognition of years, it's an acknowledgement of impact. Their work has kept this county safer, more connected, and more resilient. As a community, we are stronger because of them, and as a county, we must recognize that constables are not just a tradition, they're a critical piece of our public safety system. As President Reagan once said to law enforcement officers in 1982, you represent the thin blue line between order and chaos, between decency and lawlessness, between civilization and anarchy. Our constables stand on that line every day, not for recognition or reward, but out of love for their community. Let us not take their service for granted. Let us honor it, support it, and ensure the office of constable continues for generations to come. David Kelly, we thank you for your service. You'll be in our prayers, and we hope you enjoy your retirement.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
sir.
much. Thank you.
And I just also wanted to share that Nathan and Mackie were unable to be here tonight, both due to health issues. So we also are honoring them tonight, and we will give their plaques to them individually. Thank you for your time, Commissioners. Thank you for everything.
Next on the agenda, we have approval and corrections to the agenda. Mr. Dockery.
Chairman, it seemed like last week at the work session, it seemed like a lot of citizens put most of the interest in the audience was on Jefferson Elementary School renovation.
Mhm.
If no one objects, I'd like to ask if we can move that up the agenda to right after appearance of citizens.
Right after appearance of citizens. Does anyone object? Hold up.
Move the request renovate Jefferson Elementary School and associated budget items up the agenda and have it come right after appearance of citizens.
You want to move 141, number 15, 177, 5.
Motion to obstruct the rules.
To leave. That's what's dealing with Jefferson Elementary, those two budgets.
That's all before.
That's after.
Is there a motion on the floor to move such item? Is that your motion and your second? Hold on just a second, we're old school. Motion, Randy Bales. Anyone opposed? Not hearing any, passes.
Terry, right under the budget stuff. Jefferson Memorial renovation.
Related items will be between appearance of citizens and approval of notaries and bonds. Anyone else? Not hearing any, yeah, I got it right here. We will move right along to the election of commission officers, District 7, County Commissioner appointment. The floor is now open for nominations. Mr. Bales.
As I said last week, I'd like to nominate Aaron Lloyd.
Second.
Aaron Loy has been nominated with a second by Mr. Solomon. Anyone else would like to nominate? Mr. Clevens.
I guess I'll nominate Mr. Smallman, Daniel Smallman.
Who was the second? Anyone else? Nominations therefore cease. You have Aaron Loy and Daniel Smallman. We'll just do a roll call.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
I would like to speak to my nomination, the reason for it,
Sure.
if that's okay with the commissioners. So, Mr. Smallman lives in District 7. He ran as county commissioner during the requested Republican primary. He did not lose that race. He got votes in that race. Then he ran again in the general against Randy Bales, ran as independent, so he ran again with John Neal and Randy, and he lost that race. But the point is, he had votes in those two races. He had citizens of that district, which I don't represent, but it neighbors me. And I think for anyone to have an R beside of their name up here and not stand behind their own party's rules is not right. It's wrong. Don't ask for the rules if you're not going to stand behind your rules. He did not lose his nomination. And if it were any other situation, I wouldn't be going to bat for this. But where do those people's voice stop? Where do their wishes stop and the others begin? I have nothing against Mr. Lloyd. Not at all. I think he would be great. And in fact, he could have ran, but he ran as a road commissioner. So if we put him in as county commissioner, we will be replacing his spot on road commission. Mr. Smallman was in the race, got votes. Those citizens' voices must matter to someone. That's all I've got. It's just a matter of the facts of the case, not like or dislike. That's it. He met all the requirements of the state and did not lose his primary that the Republican Party made them declare what you were to be in it. That is all, sir.
Thank you, sir. We will now vote. I believe everybody needs to try this sign-in thing one more time.
It's gone. It's gone.
There will be a manual vote. Your choices will be Aaron Loy or Daniel Smallman. When your name is called, you will either say Loy or Smallman.
Katie Huffaker,
Loy.
Janet Norton,
Loy.
Joe Coleman, Jimmy L. Patterson,
Lloyd.
Austin Brooks,
Lloyd.
Jim Snodgrass, Lloyd, Greg Bird,
Lloyd.
John Johnson,
Lloyd.
Tim Seals,
Aaron Lloyd.
Sammy Solomon,
Lloyd.
Robert Blevins,
Daniel Smallman.
Ransom Douglas,
Smallman.
Randy Bales,
Aaron Lloyd.
Ronnie Coleman,
Lloyd.
Terry Dockery,
Loy.
Jimmy Carmichael,
Lloyd.
Marcus Reed,
Smallman.
Howdy Thomas.
Lloyd.
15-3, I'd like to welcome Aaron Lloyd to the County Commission. Where is he at?
He's right there. Come on up.
Come on up, sir. The question has arisen if he can serve in both road commission and county commission. And the word we got from the state of Tennessee was, yes, he can, but he can only be elected to one. So you can actually serve both until re-election. Would you like to speak?
Well, appreciate the vote of confidence first off. Took a lot of thought and prayer to get back to Randy and tell him that I would consider serving, but appreciate it. And I'd be remiss if I didn't speak on John Neal. I was fortunate to know him my whole life. Looked at him as a mentor in many different ways, most of all in his faith. His leadership, obviously, within the community and as a fellow farmer as well. And it's in my opinion that it wouldn't matter who took his place here on county commission. They're definitely not going to replace the abilities that he brought here to the county commission. But I will tell you that I can confidently tell you that I will put forth the same amount of commitment and thoughtfulness towards the decisions made here. So appreciate it and look forward to serving with you.
Thanks, sir. Anybody got a question or comment, Mr. Lloyd? Take a seat, sir.
Thank you.
You gotta be sworn.
Ain't official yet.
Will raise your right hand, sir. Repeat after me. I, Aaron Lloyd, do solemnly swear
I, Aaron Lloyd, do solemnly swear
that I will perform with fidelity
that I will perform with fidelity
the duties of the office which I have been appointed,
the duties of the office of which I have been appointed
and which I am about to assume.
and of which I am about to assume.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
to support the constitutions
to support the Constitution
of Tennessee
of Tennessee
and the United States,
and the United States,
and to faithfully perform the duties
and to faithfully perform the duties
of the office of County Commissioner
of the office of County Commission
representing the 7th District
representing the 7th District
of Jefferson County, Tennessee.
of Jefferson County, Tennessee.
Next on the agenda, we have the consent of the agenda. David Galt will be speaking to the
Mr. Chairman.
Sanitation Department. Sir.
I think we need a parliamentarian.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
And I have a nomination for you, Mr. Chairman.
Nominate.
I nominate Commissioner Jim Snodgrass for parliamentarian.
We have a nomination of Jim Snodgrass for parliamentarian. Pam Seals is the second. Anyone else? We have a nomination for Greg Bird by John Johnson. Is that a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bales. Anyone else? Nominations will now cease. We will be doing a roll call vote. It will be Snodgrass or Bird when your name's called.
Commissioner Huffey,
Snodgrass.
Commissioner Norton,
Snodgrass.
Commissioner Coleman, Commissioner Patterson, Commissioner Brooks,
Snodgrass.
Commissioner Snodgrass. Commissioner Byrd.
That sounded a little more confident.
Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Seals.
Snodgrass.
Commissioner Solomon.
Snodgrass.
Commissioner Blevins.
Snodgrass.
Commissioner Douglas. Commissioner Bales.
I'm gonna side with Greg Bird and go with Mr. Snodgrass.
Commissioner Ronnie Coleman.
Snodgrass.
Commissioner Dockery.
Snodgrass.
Chairman Carmichael.
Bird.
Commissioner Reed.
Commissioner Reed.
Snodgrass.
Commissioner Thomas.
Bird.
Morning, Bird. Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
I think we might have missed a commissioner, Mr. Clerk.
I think we did somewhere. I'm short one.
Lloyd.
Lloyd. Mr.
Yes,
Lloyd.
sorry, Commissioner Lloyd.
Snodgrass.
That's his
Weren't on the
first
list,
vote.
sir, I apologize.
I do believe we've got 16-2.
Chairman.
Sir.
I just now noticed a public hearing on the agenda. Do we need to do, we don't need to do that again?
Nope. I had 16-2. Gotta add Lloyd in.
3.
16-3, okay.
15 to 3. 16 to 3.
Next on the agenda,
It was Jim Snodgrass.
we have the consent agenda. There's really nothing to do. Next, we have approval of the minutes.
Second.
Sammy. Who was the second, Joe? We can do a voice vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All dis in favor? Passes. Next, we have appearance of citizens. First on the agenda is Kathleen Villers. Next on the agenda will be Chuck Ladle. Sir, would you please come up also? You have to bring him in.
Test, test. Kathleen Villers, 2202 Arrowhead Drive, Dandridge, Tennessee. Given your long agenda, let me be brief, highlight just a couple of key points. Additional revenue sources are required, and with this, the need to address issues such as staffing, enforcement, safety, buildings. Key points, I'd suggest and recommend the passing of the wheel tax. 2, recommend passing the mineral tax. Any concerns about shutting down a business don't seem warranted given the small tax would be passed on to consumers. 3, I'd like to recommend the short-term rental resolution, but it is not on tonight's agenda. Strongly encourage that this resolution be finalized and placed on the agenda as soon as possible, both from a revenue standpoint, you've heard 2 million, 4 million, 6 million of revenues, but also from a safety and enforcement standpoint. Let me highlight what happened this weekend. Two issues. Santa Fe Trail, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 6 guest short-term rental. Rented, 12 guests arrived. Pretty soon there were close to 20 guests. 7 cars. Additionally, they brought in a 20-foot utility trailer and a 30-foot RV. Some of those blocking the road, access to the boat launch. They were threatening to assault a neighbor. They were planning a bonfire, even though a burn restriction in place. 2, 2251 Jim Henry Road. That's the property where the sheds are being built. This weekend, 25-plus cars arrived, 50-plus people, with the event going on into the evening hours. There was a cross in the window. Was this possibly an Easter service? As we know, a church camp is disallowed in A1. Most of the people seemed to be inside the existing 3-bedroom older home, and here too I would suggest fire concerns. It was previously reported that the sheriff, fire, and emergency services are insufficiently resourced to provide protection to the residents in remote areas. I asked the commission, do we need a serious incident like a forest fire or someone injured or shot to add resources such as an enforcement officer? Point 4, I support the much-needed personnel and salary considerations that are being looked at tonight for the Sheriff's Department, Kevin Poe's Circuit Court area. Thank you, Kevin, by the way, for a very valuable tour and information a couple weeks ago. And know there are several other areas needing staff and additional funding. 5, I recommend approving the renovation of the Jefferson County Elementary School, the lesser, more predictable cost, rather than new construction. And finally,
I'm sorry.
I support increasing the number of commissioner meetings each year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Chuck from Star Mines. Sir, would you please take the podium? Tell us who you are and about what you're here.
Thank you very much for letting me speak. Do I have a set amount of time?
3 minutes.
3 minutes? I'm going to jump right to it. I'm Chuck Lane. I'm President of Tennessee Mining Association. Star Mines are one of our members. And I just want to give you a quick background about the zinc ore was first discovered in Mossy Creek and Jefferson City 100 years ago. So that's how long it's been around. It's a generational thing. Many of you, I'm sure, over the last years have had a relative, or some of you are several generation miners has gone through the years. So it's nothing new. It's something that everybody's used to, and we're lucky that it's here. So I was told that there's a tax, wanting a severance tax put on what we sever from the ground, and tax Star for that to go to your budget, and I'm here to oppose it, and I'll give you a few reasons why. Star's operations are actually in a financial recovery phase. It's been a few years since they've really made any money, and they've restructured, and it'll probably be a couple more years before they make money. So we're difficult for their business model. One of the things about zinc is it's cost a lot to separate it. When we get zinc, we go down and get limestone out of the ground, and on that limestone has zinc on it. The recovery rate's only 3 to 5%. So we got to get a whole lot of limestone out of the ground to get that zinc. And it's an expensive process, and so it operates at a very close profit margin. Let's see, we are, as I said, they're in the middle of the street to turn around. We expect about 2 more years before to get to break-even point. Severance tax would push the entire operation back into the red area. I'd like to also say that we mine more zinc in Tennessee than any place in the world, which is good. We have the only smelter in the nation in Clarksville, Tennessee, that smelts our zinc from here, and it goes from here. We have 2 mines in Middle Tennessee, Gordonsville, and so everything kind of is here for each other to make it. Let's see. Economic fallout from losing the zinc would be 2,100 jobs in East Tennessee, 1,700 in Middle Tennessee, and 1,350 in Clarksville, Tennessee. we have local contractors that we work with that sole work is here. We have Tyler nicely here with us tonight, Walker Trucking, and they have 100 trucks, employ a bunch of people right here in this town. Is that me?
Sir, if you can close, I'll give you just a little bit of time.
Thank you. We don't want to shut all that down, so it's not just it would affect us here, it would affect us all the way across the state. In none of the other counties that we mine zinc in do we have a severance tax. We have no severance tax on zinc in this state currently, and that's why we'd like to keep it. So we urge the county to reject or table the severance tax proposal and explore alternative budget remedies. We could consider forming public-private working groups with you. Near Star would like to work with you however we can, but doing a severance tax would be devastating to the operation right now in its current status.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have William Caldwell, and next on deck will be Will Campbell.
Good evening. Good day after Easter. Hope you had a good weekend. Thank you for letting me speak to you. I've spoken to you before. It's been a while, and it's not my favorite thing to do. I was an educator and a musician, and I don't mind performing music, but speaking before a crowd is not my favorite thing to do. But I felt compelled to come and speak to you tonight about a new Jefferson Elementary School. I entered Jefferson Elementary School in first grade in 1960. It was right after desegregation, and it was a brand new school. And it's not a sentimental thing for me. It's, some memories there, but I can understand after that long why you'd want a new school. I think I'd probably want a new school too. However, it doesn't make sense. And that's what I want to talk with you about tonight. The bones of Jefferson Elementary as it stands are solid, are good. The floor can be raised with ramjack, injected concrete, or however they do it. Several companies can do that. The drainage problem can be fixed. And then you have a solid building. They don't make them like that anymore. To build a new school, it will not last as long as that school has. So if you just renovate it inside, you'll have a brand new school in a very solid surround. And to me, that makes sense. And what motivates me is fiscal responsibility. We've been all aware of Doge, and that was an invention of Donald Trump. It was before him they had Doge, but he's really putting it to use, and many taxpayers appreciate that because we don't want our tax money wasted. Neither do the citizens of Jefferson County. An $8 to $10 million savings will occur if you renovate compared to brand new construction. Not only that, the students will be in the school a lot sooner. Now, you probably know a lot more about it than I do. You all have the facts, and I'm just up here as a cheerleader. I want to say one more thing, and I'm out of here. We live in a time when feelings sometimes take precedence over critical thinking. And some people are not even aware of it. But it's causing marriage breakups, it's causing problems, it's causing people to turn their backs on others instead of standing and speaking, as I'm doing with you tonight. But I challenge you to not look at this situation with your feelings, because that's a lot of the people, that's all they want. They want a new school, and it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters to them. So I hope you'll do the right thing and renovate Jeff Elementary.
Thanks, sir. Will Campbell, you'll be next. Then Linda McSmith.
My name is Will Campbell. I reside at 1308 Jessica Loop, Jefferson City, Tennessee, and I'm talking about Jefferson Elementary School. My wife, Dr. Kara Campbell, is a teacher and second grade teacher, and my grandson is a student in pre-K at Jefferson Elementary School. I don't normally speak out in public, but I felt the need to do so tonight. Someone last week on the commission mentioned that they felt that Dr. Tommy Arnold and the school board had done their due diligence before coming to the commission to ask for money to renovate JES, and felt the commission needed to give it to them. All due respect, I feel that the same due diligence was done back in 2018, 2019, when the school board also came to you to ask for money to build a new JES for a lot less than they're asking for now. So you already cost us $6 million. The school board has come to you several times after that and requested money to build, and it has been denied every time because it did not fit what you wanted. The only reason that the school board is coming to you with renovation requests now is, like Doug Iverson has said in the school board meetings, we have to give the commission what they want to get what we need. Another commissioner also said last week that it was not the job of the commission to tell the school board how to spend the money. So I think the request that needs to come from you should be changed for the money to either build or renovate, whichever the school board decides to do, not what the county commission wants to do. My main concern is renovation while students are present. Can you tell me that all hazardous materials, not just asbestos, but PCBs as well, will be removed? Has the building even been tested for PCBs? PCBs are not just found in ballasts and the lighting, but it's also in caulk, paint, and expansion joints that they used in the 60s and 70s. We have been told that during renovation, monitoring of air quality will be constant during renovation to make sure that the air quality is in the approved level by the EPA. I hate to say it, but the acceptable level by a government agency is not the best for us always. For example, the FDA allows 9 rodent hairs in a 16-ounce box of spaghetti. In 1/4 cup of cornmeal, 50 insect fragments are allowed. So my question is, renovation, 100% risk-free. If there is even the smallest chance that a student, teacher, or staff member has side effects, becomes ill, or dies from any part of this, it's unacceptable. Building a new building has 0% risk on the health and lives of students, teachers, and staff, and only costs $4 million more. Are you going to tell parents that their child's health or life is not worth $4 million? Are you going to tell the teachers and their staff members' families that their health or life is not worth $4 million? You may not think so, but I think those teachers, students, and staff members, my wife and my grandson's life, are priceless. Do the right thing and vote no to renovation and give us a new building. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next, we have Linda McSmith and then Mike Foley.
Linda McSmith, 3766 Island View Drive, Sevierville, Tennessee, but live in Jefferson County. I'm here to talk about several things quickly tonight. One, I support the wheel tax. That will provide us some more money for our roads and for our volunteer fire departments and emergency response, which is very much needed. Second, support moving back to the monthly meetings, 8 monthly meetings and other special called meetings. We've been talking about, I've brought this up a few times. I think it's something you really need to consider so we can get business done. It takes 6 months to a year to finalize most of the decisions that are made. Also, I support the renovation of Jefferson County Elementary. When you're looking at new build versus renovation, with new build, they may say there's a price, but it will definitely go over budget by usually 10 to 20%. So think about that and what those millions of dollars might be. The renovation is set, it appears to be safe, and we need to think about how they're going to do this and getting updates on the progress of the project. I'm glad to see that the commissioners are starting to speak up more, probably some of the new ones more than some of the older ones when things come up and they're asking for comments or input. So thank you very much for being active on the commission. It's better to see than just approve, approve, approve going through the agendas and the topics at the work session. Also, support the building department to get extra personnel. If we move forward on short-term rentals, our building department is always also overrun as it relates to going out and giving permits. Some of it slows down some of the construction and impacts on definitely new people coming to the county. Also, the fees that we can get from the short-term rentals can be considerable as some of the information has been gathered. So ask for support from the community, and we ask the commissioner's support to locate these different short-term rentals and see that they're abiding by the different codes and different things that they need to. We have several in our community, and there's one posted for 26 rentals with 2 or 3 bedrooms, 26 people. That can't be safe. Can't be safe for and it's next to the lake. Can't be safe for the lake and septic systems. We need to really think about what these folks are doing and how it's impacting our communities and what's happening, what's going on. Thank you, and please use microphones as much as possible.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Mike Foley, and on deck will be Michelle Light.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners. Mike Foley, 318 Oak Vista Drive in Dandridge. My comments tonight are about the rules of order. 2 years ago, I stood at this podium for the first time. As I began to speak, the parliamentarian called a point of order. The reason? It was a special call meeting and my topic was not on the agenda, so I was not allowed to speak that night. I came away appreciating the rules of order and respecting the commissioner who made sure they were followed. But things were different at the work session last week. Here are 3 examples, and I want to emphasize these are not personal, they are strictly about the process. First, during the review of proclamations, there was an impromptu discussion about a vacancy on the commission. This included the introduction of one citizen to fill the position. This should have been a separate item on the agenda, especially since a public notice was published specifically for this issue. Second, during the public hearing, a resolution was discussed that originally passed in January and then went to the county and city regional planning commissions. The same version should have been presented at the work session. However, strikeouts made by one of the cities were included. As the county attorney explained, while planning commissions can make suggestions, only the county commission can alter the original resolution. And third, during appearance of citizens, an individual made a few remarks and then asked several questions. The 3-minute timer was stopped, and a department head was called to the podium to answer them. I've seen numerous citizens ask questions before and be told they are not answered during public comments. Now, we all understand that despite our best effort, none of us are perfect, and we all want to be heard. We want the vote to go our way. But as Robert Rules explains, parliamentary procedures are the rules that help us maintain order and ensure fairness in all decision-making processes. You have a lot on the agenda with some important votes tonight. Commitment to the rules of order is the most efficient and equitable way to get everything done. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Michelle Light, you are next, and on deck is Dustin Edberg.
Michelle Light, Jefferson City. I want to talk about the JES renovation. It's time to get Jefferson Elementary fixed. The numbers that have been given between the renovation and the new build are not accurate. We've known that for years. They tried to say early on it would be 17 million versus 20 million. We know that that wasn't a true renovation quote. That number was just kind of pulled out based on a percent of a new build. Now we actually do have a real quote from a builder on how much it will be to renovate. We know that Lewis Group has proven that their bids are low. The county clerk's office ended up costing over double what they said it would cost. So a no vote today would mean we have to start all over. We have to start this process over again. Now, this came before the commission several times and it failed. So why would we back up and do this? It also guarantees 3 more years that the children have to stay in that current building. Now, I've been on Facebook and I've seen a lot of parents complaining that their children are chronically sick, and they've advocated that their children even be moved to another building temporarily while new construction is being done because the conditions are so bad. A new build is not going to solve this problem because it's going to leave the children in there for a longer time. So if we're going to build new, then we're going to have to get a temporary place for the children to be for the next 3 years. If we renovate, we can renovate around everything. So I ask that you get this taken care of and you vote to renovate. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Dustin Edberg. And on deck, we have James Lance.
Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Dustin Edberg from Starberry Plains. I'm sure most of you and many in this room will agree that we as Americans are taxed to death, and after taxes, there's death tax. From our income to what we purchase to taxes on our properties and houses, and finally registering our vehicles, and what I see is a new proposed tax tonight. Why not relieve your fellow citizens from giving more of our hard-earned money to taxes by not renewing the wheel tax, replacing it with Councilmember Levin's mineral tax? Every small boom that we hear shaking our house, it's another reminder of how these mine companies own. These mine companies are owned by companies not even based in this country. They're taking our precious resources literally under our feet, with nothing, showing nothing for us in return, other than tearing up 11E with their large trucks driving back and forth. The proposed tax has worked in Davidson County and Knox counties, where they've made hundreds of thousands of dollars since implemented. Listen to your fellow citizens and voters and relieve us of this tax. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have James Lance.
Yes, good evening, Jefferson County Commissioners. My name is James Lance. I'm a 27-year veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces residing at 2246 Peninsula Drive, Jefferson City, Tennessee. I'm here on behalf of the citizens of Dogwood Acres. I first reviewed a PowerPoint version of this document over a year ago. It is titled the Jefferson County Community Engagement Survey Results, dated 24th February 2024. It was drafted by Arcadis Corporation, a private consulting firm, as part of what I assume is its proposed green plan. As I stated in an email to the Jefferson County Community Outreach Coordinator a year ago, the majority of the information contained in this document could have been extracted by any county employee in a single afternoon simply by reviewing the last U.S. Census for this area. Additionally, my understanding is that it cost over $4,000 just to reproduce this document. Finally, the survey indicates a response rate of slightly over 3%, given a county population of about 59,000. In order to draw meaningful conclusions from a survey, statistics tell us a survey should generate a 25 to 30% response rate. Therefore, any conclusions drawn from this particular survey are circumspect at best. My related questions to the Commission follow. Number one, when and how was this survey conducted? 2, what was the total cost paid for Arcadis to produce this document, and is this the best use of our tax dollars? 3, what happened to the Building a Better Jefferson County plan? From my discussions with long-term county residents, over $1 million were spent to produce the Building a Better Jefferson County plan. What happened to it? Number 4, what does this commission propose with regard to drafting a true 5-year strategic plan containing a vision for the county's future, along with the associated goals and objectives to achieve that vision? As I've mentioned numerous times during the past 2 years, with my extensive background in planning, I stand ready to assist the development of a strategic plan at no cost to the county. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next, we have Jeffrey Williams on deck, Major Treadway. Come, sir. Jeffrey Williams.
Yeah.
Come to the
I
podium.
was on deck.
Introduce yourself.
All right, I'm Jeffrey Williams. I live right down here in Majestic Bay. The tax deal is a issue I'm concerned about. Last year, my tax appraisal almost doubled. My wife sent some emails to some commissioners here, and I got a copy of one sent back to her from Ms. Huffaker. She says everyone's been surprised with the reappraisal values. There's a calculation used to determine the property tax that includes property value and certified tax rate per state law, the amount the county collects, property tax and appraisal. Year has to remain neutral. This means property appraisals increase across the board. The certified tax rate will decrease, so the county brings in net neutral. The county does not have new lower tax rate yet. Property taxes should remain about the same with a slight increase or decrease on some property, unless the county commission has to increase the balance to this increase would be the same whether or not it was reappraisal year. In short, your property taxes should not double because the tax rate will be much lower, but they could increase some based on the balanced budget. I hope this information is helpful. It is, but my taxes are going up extremely fast for some reason, and my property taxes are going out the roof, and then you want a wheel tax. Mr. Carmichael, when he was in high school, they come up with the wheel tax, and it was a temporary tax, and that's 40 years ago, 40 plus years ago, and that never went away. It's still here, and you want more. My taxes went from 2022, $8,379. 2023, $86.77. This year, there was almost $11,000, $10,906. 26%, $2,229 is not a small increase to me, or a decrease at all. Personally, I think the wheel tax is a more fair tax because I got about 50 homes in my neighborhood, and several of them, 15, 20% of them, have more than one family living in them. And so they're paying half the tax I am. Or one family has 5 generations living in it. I don't know, you divide theirs by 5, it's a lot less than mine, but I know it takes money to operate, but I mean, one or the other, we can't have all of them, but I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Major Treadway, you're next. On deck will be Ken Morton.
Major Treadway, 1341 Wood Point Drive in Jefferson City. Commission, tonight you have before you a series of votes concerning a proposal from the Jefferson County School Board to spend a total of up to $24 million to renovate Jefferson Elementary. As a parent of 2 students there, this issue is very important to me. Simply put, this aging facility no longer adequately serves the needs of the children who spend their days there. Last month, the school board chose renovating Jefferson Elementary for $24 million over building a new facility for $27.6. Though I was discouraged by the council's vote, I tried to give people the benefit of the doubt, and so I looked for more information, but with each piece of new information I learn, the more I am convinced that a vote to renovate this facility is a vote to use taxpayer dollars irresponsibly. The $24 million cost may be lower overall, but digging a little deeper reveals that it is not cheaper. At $24 million, the cost to renovate and upgrade the 71,192 square foot facility comes at a cost of approximately $375 per square foot. The cost to build a new school that's 8,000 square feet larger comes at a cost of approximately $350 per square foot. Not only is this renovation cost estimate more expensive per square foot, it also neglects to include some improvements that a new school would provide. According to the cost estimate, the following items are listed as optional. That is, they are not included. Improvements to the parking lot, improvements to the canopies where cars pull in to let out their children, the admin area, secured entry, extra classrooms, the gym floor and stage, even hiding the electrical wires in the classrooms are not included. Inclusion of these estimates would add another, of these options would add another $7 million to what is being requested today. Were these included, the cost per square foot would balloon to $435. For a smaller school, for a facility with a shorter life expectancy than a new building. I oppose the renovation of Jefferson Elementary, not because I think the current state of the facility is adequate. I oppose the renovation of Jefferson Elementary because all of the evidence at my disposal indicates it will cost more by square foot to renovate than to build. And even then, the current and more expensive estimate. Excuse me?
You're out of time. You need to finish up real quick.
Yes, sir. The current and more expensive estimate will not address the issues that the new building would provide. At the end of the day, the teachers, administrators, and children of the school need an environment conducive to learning, and renovation is not the answer.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Ken Morton. Alex McFall, you will be next.
Ken Morton, 604 Boxwood Lane, Jefferson City, speaking for myself. You had a week to review my 7-page memo about removing asbestos and PCBs while renovating Jefferson Elementary School. Just in case you, for some reason, haven't been able to do that, I'll give you one sentence. I do think it's possible to renovate safely, but only if everything is done right in the chain of command and responsibility. That chain starts in this room. It goes out through the workers in the moon suits. Here's a case in point. Last week, I asked to see the renovation plan and the cost estimate that the school board had received from an external private firm. It mentioned asbestos and mold, but PCBs did not appear anywhere in that document. I don't know why PCBs were omitted, or if it was due to one person or several people. But here's the result. That cost estimate is likely too low because it doesn't include PCBs. And if you ignore PCBs during the renovation, you'll be leaving yourselves wide open for various kinds of trouble. So everybody in the chain of command and responsibility needs to understand their part of the job and do it correctly. Remember, PCB rules are under the EPA out of Atlanta, and asbestos rules are enforced by the state of Tennessee. It stands to reason that these folks would much rather help you people comply with the rules than have to come in here levying fines and filing lawsuits. So I'm going to encourage you to contact them for help, right? In fact, I've given your chairman and 3 other county leaders the printouts of the phone numbers, names, emails of these people. And so, as a citizen that's outside the chain, that's all I can do. It's up to you now. Do you have any questions for me? I got 30 seconds left.
Thanks, sir. Next, we have Alex McFall and Pamela Hester will be next. Ma'am.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Alex McFall, or Alex Talley, depending on which government document you check. Changing your name is actually a lot harder than I realized, and I'm only about 50% through the process. I'm an attorney at Hush Blackwell, which was recently ranked the 78th largest law firm in the country. Over the last more than 10 years of my practice, I have worked in both litigation and regulatory compliance.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry.
Name and address.
Name and address, ma'am.
Oh, apologies. Well, Alex McFall, again, or Alex Talley, depending
And
on
your
what you live.
address is?
820 Terra Lane, Dandridge, Tennessee.
All right.
Apologies, thank you. But tonight, I'm here in my capacity as a proud Jefferson County native, and a current resident who attended Jefferson Elementary School from kindergarten to 5th grade. I even married a Maury Hornet, and I'm embarrassed to say how often our elementary school and middle school rivalry is still brought up in our home. I'm sure you have been advised on the county's governmental immunity. I have no doubt. Doug Drennan is a tremendous attorney who I have an enormous amount of respect for. But as an attorney who has litigated governmental immunity claims before and overcome them on multiple occasions, I can tell you that the issues are rarely as clear-cut as they seem. Holes can be poked in immunity defenses, and the law is way more complicated sometimes than it looks on paper. This is not even my primary area of practice, but I gathered two environmental law attorneys from my office this afternoon, and we were able to craft an argument that we think could arguably avoid the governmental immunity claim. Given what we know about the dangers of asbestos, any decision to remediate it with children present could put the county commissioners in a very vulnerable position if they fail to comply with EPA regulations. They are, take it from me, incredibly detailed, and they leave absolutely no room for error. We all know that asbestos is a serious, serious health hazard. Our state Supreme Court has even recognized that it's an extremely serious substance, the unprotected exposure of which can result in death. But the truth is, a child who's exposed to asbestos and later becomes seriously ill doesn't care who is technically immune. What they and their family will ask is simple. Did the county know there was asbestos? Did they know renovation could stir it up? And did they do it anyway? We have a chance tonight to avoid that question altogether. Building a new Jefferson Elementary School is not just the right call educationally, but is my position that it's a legally sound decision. It avoids any gray areas of liability, and most importantly, it ensures the health and safety of our kids, teachers, and school staff. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Pamela Hester, and last but not least, Mr. Jim Fox.
Hi, I'm Pam Hester. I live at 724 West Deborah Street in Jefferson City. I trust that you all received the letter that I sent to your residences dated April 9th. I'm speaking on behalf of 78 teachers and staff and 435 children for their safety and quality of learning. I've taught at Jefferson Elementary for 19 years. In light of all these facts that you've been presented with, let's consider the actual day-to-day learning of these 513 Jefferson County citizens. I brought a visual of the map that I sent you just so that you can see the numbers and what the actual hallways look like. The hallways and our wings, and that's how the proposal that you got separates how the renovation will happen. The red hallway houses 208 children. They are our youngest and most vulnerable citizens. There's a developmental preschool for 30 3 to 5-year-olds with learning disabilities, some severe. It is only one of two in our county. The other is at Dandridge Elementary. We have 2 CDC classrooms on this hallway. That's children with severe learning developmental difficulties, and there's 16 children served. I highlight those especially because there's no one to speak for them. And I feel that that's my duty as an educator. To move them, to renovate around them would be very disruptive. There's also 4 kindergarten classes, a pre-K class, 3 first grade classes just on this hall, 208 children. We have not addressed what we're going to do to house these children during renovation. How will we provide a safe, appropriate educational space for these preschoolers and small children? Each of the other hallways are marked with 142 children, 135 children. All of these students will need to be displaced when renovation is occurring, not to mention what will be happening in their little ears and in the halls that they walk through. Those who say that the renovation would take less time didn't look at the proposal, because if you close one wing at a time, it could take up to 2 to 3 years. So it is not faster, and it is definitely not cheaper when you consider that we have made absolutely no consideration for the cost of where we're going to house these students when they're renovating. That has not been in any of the school board's proposals. And this, to me, should be, and it has not been addressed by the school board. I understand that your job is not all these details. You're our county commission. Your job is to provide funding for the board's recommendations, not work out all these details. So please vote no to renovation so that the school board will be required to look for better options and provide the best place to work and learn for 435 children and 78 teachers and staff. Thank you so
ma'am.
much.
Next, we have Jim Fox. Sir, you will conclude tonight's input.
Bringing up the rear. All right, Jim Fox, Abilene Trail, Dandridge. You have heard all the emotional reasons why to build a new school. Now let's get past the emotions and let's talk about some of the facts. If the environment was half as dangerous as the emotions would let you believe, the state and local health departments would have condemned the building. They check the school at least annually, also unannounced inspections, and any time a complaint is made, they're required to inspect the building. Has anyone presented a direct link between the school and any illness by a medical professional? If so, where are they? Or is this simply school flu? Even though the school as proposed would have a larger square footprint, it would not accommodate any more students than the existing school under consideration for renovation. In fact, the district student population has decreased or remained virtually stagnant for the last few years. With the newly passed state voucher bill, who knows what our enrollment will be down the road. Currently, there are about 650 empty desks throughout the district. Past school board administration saw a need for school repairs, but for whatever reason chose to do nothing, which brings us to where we're at today. The school board has been working diligently to correct the issue. The school board had two options. One, renovate the current school at $24 million. The county already has the funds without issuing bonds or raising taxes. Or two, build a new school at $28 million plus. The county does not have the funds, so the county debt would have to be increased and taxes would be raised once more. Because the architect on the school used an extremely low square foot pricing, and because of a number of needed items were identified by the school board as not included in this bid, it is estimated that a proper bid from another architect would climb to at least $32 million, an additional 15%, and we ain't even signed the paperwork yet. So where is it actually going to end? The school board is presenting their best and most cost-effective option and still completing the mission of creating a great learning experience for the students. The age of the school does not mean it cannot be remodeled. Also, the age of the school does not dictate the level of learning. Otherwise, most of the University of Tennessee would have to be demolished, including the beloved Ayers Hall and Neyland Stadium. Also remember, we're having this very discussion in a 180-year-old courthouse. Lastly, there is only one proposal before this commission, funding to remodel the school. That's the only one that's out there. A no vote would delay the project nearly 2 years and be even more costly. I'll finish up here real quick. The community has been promised action for years for this school. Let's give them that. This is essentially a new school except for the foundation and walls will already be built. Lastly, making decisions on emotions never goes well.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, moving right along, we're coming up on break, but I think we need to clear up what we've already added. Mr. Docker, you added the school vote, the school renovation vote. How do you want to proceed, sir?
Well, I just wanted to move it on up the agenda.
All right.
For all the people that's interested in.
Miss Jessie, do you want to present the amendments that we need to make?
I can.
Would you please and explain each one of them for exactly what we are doing?
Okay, the first one is budget amendment, general fund 141. That's the school budget amendment number 15.
Could you grab a microphone right there? Could somebody grab her a microphone?
Okay, General Fund 141, Budget Amendment Number 15. There are two items on this. What this is, item number 1 is moving the funds to, moving the funds from the reserves into a reserve for renovation. It's on a construction reserve and it's moving it into a renovation reserve. Can you hear me?
One at a time.
Item number 1.
Item number 1.
That's what I'm going over right
Does
now.
everyone on the commission understand? Is yours turned on? Try it again and just see if they're saying they couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay, let's start over. Item number 1, the total for that is 11.5 million. The first portion is moving Jefferson Elementary construction, a reserve that has been set aside of $3 million, to another reserve for Jefferson Elementary renovation. The second portion of item number 1 is utilizing $8.5 million of their unassigned fund balance, and this is the schools, to a Jefferson Elementary renovation reserve, and that totals $11.5 million. The second portion of this is moving the $11.5 million reserve to a transfers out expenditure line. And the second portion is the next budget amendment. So this is Fund 141, and the next one will be Fund 140 or 177.
We need to clear them up one at a time.
Correct. This was recommended by the Budget Committee. This item, 141, number 15, the two items, was recommended by the Budget Committee.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Question or comment, we'll proceed to vote. Proceed to vote. Katie, do you speak?
Okay. I'm not going to support this renovation, which if you... I'm not in support of the renovation, and if you're at the work session, I stated it then, and I'm going to repeat it again today. When we first started debating about this years ago, we thought the cost was going to be about half, or some of the commissioners did. And then when it went out for renovation bid, our current numbers are $24 million for a remodel and $27 for a new build. I think it's a bad return on investment for the taxpayers. There's only a 16% difference. Even if we purchased property behind the middle school from the hospital and paid for infrastructure, I know the cost would go up, but I wouldn't think it would exceed 25% difference. There's not schematics for this renovation, so I think the timeline's off. I don't think they'll be able to abate over the summer, and I feel the cost will increase once they get into the building and they open it up. I know there's a $900,000 contingency, but if something goes wrong and you start bringing in portables and you have to start bringing in nutrition for the kids, then you start doing change orders, your cost will dramatically increase. I think it's a health risk. We've been told there's asbestos and PCBs in the building. I just think as far as risk assessment, it's not, in my opinion, in the county's best interest to renovate. I'm certain there'll be, if not a lack of progression in learning, a loss of learning for the kids. It'll be extremely disruptive. We're going to be responsible if something goes awry. This scope of work is much larger than the Piedmont renovation. The majority of the building is a major gut job. Essentially, you have a foundation and some walls. And also, we've been told by different companies that the life expectancy of a new build is greater than a renovation, so I just cannot support this.
Next, we have Miss Janet Norton and then Jim Snoggers.
Okay. We spent a lot of time listening to the school board and Lewis and Group and Blankenship do their presentations, and we noticed that with both the renovation and the new build, there were several things left out. What one left out, the other didn't. So there's some differences there that both groups didn't put in there. My second concern, or I guess my first concern, is Lewis and Group and the number of times that we've asked them to build a building, allowed them to build buildings, and the cost has come out way more than what they said it would to start out with, astronomically. Also, on the top of their bid, it says that it will increase by 3% every year. So each year the build's not finished, it says on top of their contract that it will, or their proposal, that it will increase 3% each year. We'll have to buy land to put it on, so there's an additional expense. And then the old building is left, and we still have to do something with Jefferson Elementary School. So there's another additional cost that's not being taken into consideration. And I'm going to say, we just did this in Piedmont, and it seemed to have gone beautifully. So I'm going to vote in favor.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Snoggers.
I am going to vote in favor of this renovation. I just want to go back a few years when this was started. There was 120 some odd email chain that come out, and if you took time to read through that, it very plainly stated in there by a high up school official, make the renovation cost so high that they'll only choose new. Straight out says that. So I wanted to get real numbers, and I feel like we're at that point finally. And now here's what's going to come right after this. If we choose to build new, we're going to come back for another $30 or $40 million to renovate JES to make it some type of office complex. So it's not good enough for the current folks in there, the kids and the students and the teachers. So why would then we turn around and spend another $30, $40 million to renovate it for our adult teachers or adult leaders and administration group? So it's just not logical, but that will come right after that. So again, I'm going to move forward with support for this project.
We will move to our vote now. Not seeing no more requests to speak. If you're for moving this money, vote accordingly.
For renovation.
Sure. You have 13 yes, 6 no. Yeses have it. The money will be moved. Miss Jessie, next.
Okay, the next item that pertains to the Jefferson Elementary renovation is Capital Fund 177. This is a school capital projects fund, budget amendment number 5. There's one item on it. It is bringing in those funds that you all just approved to transfer out of the general fund 141. This is for the school portion of $11.5 million. This did fail with budget committee, but it was requested to be added to the agenda.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Question or comment? Not seeing a request to speak, we'll proceed to vote. Thirteen yes, 6 no. Passes.
Okay, so that is the school board portion of theirs for the renovation. That's $11.5 million. Now, the third item on this is they are requesting $12.5 million funding from the county. So what I've included is excess revenue detail to show you on the debt service 151. The very first page of that, it shows that we have around $12.7 million if we look back to 2019. There are 3 items that make up this fund's interest earned, will tax, and adequate facilities tax. I've included the will tax and the adequate facilities tax resolutions and highlighted the portions that they are for the school capital projects.
Is there a question or comment?
Just to let you know, if this does pass, this portion has to be put into the fiscal year 25-26 budget. So it would be put in to move these funds out of debt service into our county capital and then a contribution to the school capital if this passes.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a second. Not seeing a request to speak, we'll proceed to vote. Passes 12-7. Is there one more, Jesse?
That's all for the renovation.
That's all for the
That takes
renovation.
care of the $24 million funds. Thank you.
All right, moving right along to the agenda. We normally take a break at 8 o'clock. We're going to take a short 10-minute restroom break so the crowd can disperse or as you please, but we will be right back in 10 minutes. please be seated. Next, you have before you approval of notaries and bonds. We have a motion on the floor with a second. Question or comment? Not hearing any, proceed to vote. He's absent.
Probably that.
18 yeses, 0 noes, passes. Next, we have nominating committee, elections of committees, boards, and commissions. Where's my chairman? That be you, Mr. Bales?
Oh, no.
I'm off. Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
you need to replace Jennifer Stone King Stewart with Linda McCall.
Right, I have that. I was fixing to announce that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to take them out both together?
Yeah.
We shall proceed to vote. Got a motion on the floor in a second. Eighteen zero, pass. Next, we have reports from elected officials. County Mayor Mark Potts, mayoral appointments, Regional Planning Commission, Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. Randy Bales, April 2025 to October of 2026. No request to speak, we'll proceed to vote. Motion on the floor in a second. Sixteen yes, 0 no. Next, we have Long Range Planning Committee, John Johnson, April 2025, July 2025. We have a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. Proceed to vote. We need a motion, please. We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
real quick, did we clarify? It says April 25. It should be 26, correct?
The sunset on that committee is July 2025 unless the county commission changes it. So I'll cut and extend it past the life of the committee.
Next, we're moving right along, 17-0. Chairman's comments. All I have is there's going to be a meeting at Collie Hill Farms for the veterans at Thursday night, the 24th, I believe. Mr. Brooks?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Jefferson County Republican Party will be having a dinner this Thursday night, April 24th at 6:30 p.m. Be located at Coley Hill Farm. Our guest speaker is going to be our Veteran Service Officer. So if you're a veteran or would like to learn about the services that are offered to our veterans in Jefferson County, I encourage everyone to attend. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next, moving right along, we have B, Sanitation Department, Mr. David Galt. Would you take the podium, please, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got a couple of things. One thing that needs for suspension of rules and a couple of items to be added, a couple of budget amendments to be added. The reason we're having to add these budget amendments is earlier this afternoon at the Sanitation Commission, I submitted my letter of resignation. I will be working, or I've offered to work, commit to work to roughly the end of the fiscal year to offer them opportunity to get somebody hired, work through a transition. If that hiring does take place quickly, I would be there and the new director would be there, so there would be some overlap on salaries. So both 116 and 207 fund would need roughly $7,500 apiece for salaries and associated costs, depending on insurances and whatnot. So my announcement is my resignation, and then asking for the suspension of rules to add those budget amendments on.
There will have to be a motion to suspend the rule, Mr. Dockery. Got a motion by Mr. Dockery and a second by Katie. Question or comment for Mr. Galt?
I do want to say thank you for the opportunity. I love Jefferson County. I love the opportunity I've had to work here. Hope that I've left it better than I found it.
Did you say 7,500 for both?
For each. It would have to be two separate budget amendments, yeah. So I assume they'll just add them later or whatever. It just all came up this afternoon, so I do apologize for the late notice of it.
The motion was Terry Dockery and the second was Katie Huffaker. We have a motion on the floor to suspend the rule that has been properly made and seconded. So you will be voting on the suspension of the rule. Passes 19-0. Now we're on to the motion itself.
It would be two. We would need to do an amendment from 116.
116, and that would be fund balance that we would be hitting for salary and associated cost. You could
$7,500.
up to $7,500 to cover salaries and associated costs for the replacement. That would actually be, if we were presenting it, would be Fund 116, BA number 2.
BA number 2. Does everyone understand what they're voting on? Question.
Help me understand, you said you're resigning,
I am.
but you're going to stay how long?
To the end of the fiscal year to offer transitional period. It's a pretty complex system out there for somebody to learn. So if they can get somebody hired quickly, then we would have 4 to 5 weeks of working to help them with that transition.
Okay. And everybody thinks that's, I mean, I don't have enough to know. I don't have enough education to know. I mean, what are the chances that we could hire somebody that already had these skills?
Just the sanitation board is open to any help, but understand it's those 3 members, it's their responsibility to hire and fire. So you said we, I'm just wanting to make sure you understand it. It's their job, their responsibility to do that, take that action.
Okay.
I'm
just looking for clarification.
Yeah, that's
because it's like
fine.
really quick, and I'm trying to absorb what I'm hearing here.
I'm offering that. If they don't want it, I'm fine with that. I'm offering that. I will say that 5 weeks will barely touch what the new person needs to know, whether they're skilled in landfill operation or not.
Okay.
I have also offered after my departure, my phone is always open. I will answer any question that they need in the future. So.
Gotcha. Thank you.
We will move right along to the vote on Fund 116. Jesse, you have the specifics of the vote.
We're making it up as we go, so it would be Fund 116, BA number 2, item number 1. I'm just going off of his figures because we just all discovered this ourselves. So $7,500 to cover payroll and associated costs up to. So if the fund's not needed, we wouldn't move it, but we won't be meeting again until year end. So this will put those funds onto the payroll lines for us.
We will proceed to vote. $19 yes, 0 no. Okay, the second side of that.
Okay, there's also landfill Fund 207. So the director's salary is paid half on 116 and half on 207. So that's why it involves 2 funds. It's the flip side, it's the exact same thing, but Fund 207, up to $7,500.
Question or comment? Not hearing any, we'll proceed to vote. Oh, we got it right there. Nineteen yes, 0 no's, passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Galt. Next, we're down to the Audit Committee 2024 audit. We'll need to vote to accept, wouldn't we? We need a motion to accept. We have Mr. Brooks, and who was the second? Mr. Solomon. Hold up just a second here, and we'll get you tallied up. Not hearing a question or comment, we'll proceed to vote. Motion to amend. Oh, mistake. Oops. Greg Bird. Passes 19-0. Moving right along to Budget Committee, Debt Service Fund.
We've already taken care of that item. It was for Jefferson Elementary renovation.
Sure.
Yep. And I think I'm just going to keep rolling on the budget amendments, if that's
Sure.
okay with Chairman. Okay, thank you. So these were all approved by the Budget Committee last week. General Fund 101, BA number 11, item 121 is using fund balance of $163,329. Reserve balance usage $25,411.31.
Question or comment? We have a motion on the floor in a second. We don't have to have it. It's done been plugged. Nineteen yes, 0 no, passes.
Next item, Sanitation Fund 116, Amendment Number 1. And this is moving $3,000 from the waste equipment to part-time personnel.
Proceed to vote. Nineteen zero, proceed.
Next item, the ARPA Grant Fund 127, Amendment Number 2. This item is bringing in, it's not additional revenue, it's just where I budget this year, and I underestimated $186,615 for this grant.
Proceed to vote. Nineteen zero, proceed.
Next item is Highway Fund 131, Amendment Number 3. These are just aligning up the funds on the correct salary. This is due to just positions changing, different budgeted salary lines.
Proceed to vote. Nineteen zero, pass. Proceed.
Next item is Capital Fund 171, Amendment Number 4. There's only one item. This is to replace a Jill Sally port door. This was for next fiscal year's capital budget. However, it was needed at our earliest convenience. So we are swapping this out with insulation for the courthouse for next fiscal year.
Proceed to vote. 19-0, passed.
Next item is landfill Fund 207, Amendment Number 3. There are two items on this. The first item is moving funds around for additional funds for evaluation and testing for the additional Class 3 and 4 cells. The other item, item number 2, is utilizing fund balance of $100,000 to add more funds to crushed stone, diesel fuel, and gasoline to finish out the fiscal year.
$19-0, passed.
Okay, that's all of the county ones. The next item is schools, general fund 141. Item, or budget amendment number 11, there's only one item. It's bringing in additional revenue.
Proceed to vote. $19-0, passed. Proceed.
Okay, Fund 141, budget amendment number 12 has a few items on it and is using reserve balance of $20,557.50.
Proceed to vote. $19-0, passed.
Next one is 141, amendment number 13. This is one item, and it's to purchase additional property adjacent to Talbot Elementary School, and it's to allow them up to $150,000, utilizing their fund balance.
Proceed to vote. Passed. 19-0. Proceed.
Next item, Fund 141, amendment number 14. There are three items here. No use of fund balance or reserves.
Proceed to vote. 19-0. Proceed.
Next item, 141, budget amendment number 16. There's one item, and this is moving funds for the bonuses for classified and certified staff. This is using fund balance of $505,742.50. If this is approved, the Board of Education fund balance unassigned will be down to about $1.8 million.
Proceed to vote. $19-0. Proceed.
Okay, we're moving on to federal funds, 142, budget amendment number 4. There's only one item, and it's bringing in additional revenue.
Proceed to vote. Tim?
Yeah, mine's dead.
It's dead. They vote for you?
Vote yes.
19-0, passed. Proceed.
Federal Fund 142, budget amendment number 7. There are 4 items on this.
Proceed to vote. Tim?
Yes.
Ms. Hyder? There we go. 19-0, passed. Proceed.
Federal Fund 142, amendment number 8. There are 4 items on this.
Proceed to vote.
Yes, sir.
19-0, passed. Proceed.
Schools Capital Projects Fund 177, budget amendment number 4. There's one item. On the flip side, the The project was approved on their Fund 141 back in January, but we failed to present this, so this portion needs to be approved so we can complete the project.
Proceed to vote. 19-0, passed. Proceed.
The next item, we've already completed the school renovation project. So the next item is G, lobby travel reimbursement. Mr. Seal is requesting his reimbursement. It was approved up to $3,500 back in October of 2024.
Proceed to vote. Eighteen yes, 1 no, passed.
Okay, the next item, item H, for job classification compensation study and analysis for all Jefferson County employees. We did bid this out, however, the bid opening was not until last Wednesday, so it was after Budget Committee had met. So we weren't able to have this presented to Budget Committee. With those results, we do have 4 companies that came in under $60,000 for this study. So I believe the request would be not to exceed $60,000 if you all wish to proceed with this study.
Mr. Dockery.
Is this just for salary or total compensation to include benefits and insurance?
We bid out total compensation.
Okay.
Anyone else, question or comment? Ida.
The proposal for a job classification and compensation study in an amount not to exceed $60,000 to come from the fund balance.
Question or comment? We'll proceed to vote. Fourteen yes, 5 no, passes. Next, we have, that concludes your business, right, Jesse? Next, we have long-range planning report. Chair Katie Huffaker.
Okay. So we had the Jefferson County Community Engagement Survey, but we never submitted and filed that in the official county records, the date of the results and the comments. So we need to make a motion today to do that. And Commissioner Snodgrass, he was a previous long-range planning chair, and he's going to do a brief presentation with the results. But I wanted to give a couple comments on this. When we did the survey, we had a steering and advisory committee that were formed. So we had several community members. They helped us with the nuts and bolts to develop and to review the survey for concerns. They advocated for the community. We had people that helped represent the roads, emergency services, schools, city, agriculture, zoning, historical, community reps, and the long-range planning committee members were involved. And there were several, about 25 stakeholders who were citizens with various backgrounds who came and gave us information too. We did a lot of advertising in the banner, the Jefferson County Post. We utilized QR codes and survey links on the county website, as well as other social media. We put advertisement flyers, yard signs, note cards were placed at multiple commercial businesses, a funeral home, hospitals, schools, fire departments, local shops, co-op, farm bureau. We handed them out personally to the public service workers in the city and the county. Multiple emails were sent out to the county employees, both school and the county department heads and the county employees. We went to the senior citizen centers. So I just want everybody to know, we really, really put a lot of effort into that survey, and I'm proud about how it went about, and I'm very appreciative to all the community members who helped and the commissioners, and we had a higher response rate than Knox County when their survey was taken. We had public meetings, one at the high school, one at Newmarket Elementary in Talbot. There were interactive boards. People were there to answer questions. And again, I just want to thank everybody who was involved, and I think we got some really good results from it, and I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Snodgrass. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Katie. Again, same here. Thank you to everyone. I see a lot of faces in here that attended our long-range planning meeting and some that already left. We appreciate everyone's support. This is a condensed version. Some of you have already seen that with respect to time, but Mayor, I hope we can get this reposted back on our website as well, and I'll be submitting all the raw data to your office, if approved by the commission. Okay. Looking at the first slide, as Katie mentioned, we had 1,916 total responses, highest response rate of for any previous IBI survey. So again, a lot of hard 20-plus years. Okay, so it was a lot of local survey as well. Looking at next, what best describes your situation in Jeff County? 88% of the people who completed the survey were homeowners here. Okay. Again, I'm going a little quick. We also surveyed the different types of professions. I don't think there's any school members left here, but Dr. Arnold was tremendous in helping us getting this out through the community. They also had a good response rate from the school system. Retired members and then also medical members were the next largest. And then this was an important question that was requested from several inputs. Do you farm or own an agriculture-based business? As you can see, just a little over 10% said yes, but the majority was no. So I want you to keep that in mind as we look at a later question. What we heard, and this is also in the community surveys that were mentioned, was a rural feel is important. I think most of us in this room can still sign up for that. Preserving agricultural land is a priority. Maintaining quality of the school system as the county grows is important, and economic development. And if you look here at Q13 and reflect back what I mentioned earlier, is it important for Jefferson County to maintain its rural feel? Yes. Overwhelming majority there. And as it grows, please rank your priorities from 1 to 6, with 1 being the most important. Maintain quality of schools had a score of 4.39. Preserving agriculture had 4.38, and then third ranking was economic development of 3.85. The next question, as commercial and industrial development grows in Jefferson County, what would you like to see included in the standard rules for building, signage, standard development, rules, noise levels, pedestrian design? And then there were several images that were in the survey that you could select. So yes, you can see the majority of 90+% said these things are important. And here's the breakdown of that. Sign guidance, height and materials. And I'm going to give you an example here. If you look at our Love's Truck Stop sign down on 412, we can pretty well see it from a long distance off. There's a Love Truck Stop at the Mount Juliet stop off 840. Same setup, but their sign's 10 feet high. Those are the things that help maintain a rural feel, keeping the signages at low levels. For example, rules for sidewalks, traffic buffer, trees, connections. Again, over 90% in favor of that. Standard rules for landscaping developments, the streets, the trees, median sidewalks, almost 90% favorable on that one. And as well, standard rules for maximum noise levels, just over 70% in favor of that as well. And then finally, question 21, please rank the district zones that need the most revision efforts, ranking them from 1 to 8, and you can see A1 was ranked as needing the most revision, which we heard that for many years in here, and we've got a couple things on the table tonight to help move that forward, hopefully with more to come. And that's the abbreviated version. I want to encourage everyone to go onto the website and see the details. There's a lot of recommendations out there. I think that was actually in our packet. And a lot of those balls are moving and in motion already. We just got to pick up some speed and stay with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Katie, you need to finish? Sure.
I'd like to make a motion to put the data survey results and comments that we received from IBI to be filed in the official county records from the Jefferson County Community Engagement Survey.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Question or comment? Not hearing any, we'll proceed to vote. 19-0 pass. We'll move right along. Next, we have old business. And we have on the docket Resolution 2025-09, a resolution authorizing an additional motor vehicle privilege tax, improving for the disposition of the proceeds thereof. Commissioners Huffaker and Dockery. Sponsored. This is a second reading. It does have to have 14 votes to pass. It is passed earlier in a regularly scheduled meeting. Request to speak, Katie Huffaker.
Okay, I'd just like to ask everybody to please support this. We were over 1.5 million in the red from last year's budget, which does not include what we needed for this year's budget too. So this is $35. It supports public safety, the sheriff's vehicles, EMS ambulances, fire department and rescue squad funding, public education capital, and public highways capital. It exempts those who are approved and currently enrolled under the Tennessee Property Tax Relief Program. They'll be exempt upon proof of documentation from the trustee's office if they apply. And this wheel tax will also be placed on the 2028 referendum. We need 2/3 majority vote, and I would like to encourage everyone to please support this.
Thank you, Mr. Eaton.
One of the reasons why I am supporting this is because of what Commissioner Huffaker said, that in 2028, it comes to you, the people, to either keep it in or vote it out. So that is the reason why I'm supporting it. Thank you.
I see no more requests to speak. We'll proceed to vote. Passes 19-0. We will move right along. Next in new business, we have a resolution 2025-23, resolution to levy a mineral severance tax on all sand, gravel, sandstone, chert, and limestone severed from the ground in Jefferson County, Tennessee. I see no request to speak. Well, we got Mr. Blevins and Mr. Terry Dockery.
Did you come back to the podium, sir? From NISTAR? Yes, sir.
Yes, 14 votes.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I know it was short notice. We dealt with this a while back, but things got thrown around and thrown out, and here we are. Do you work for NISTAR?
I'm president of Tennessee Mining Association. They are a member.
How much does their membership cost a year?
Has their membership cost to me?
No, to them.
I don't know if I can, I'd have to talk to my board about that if I could say that.
Okay, understand. Well, you said something, what was you saying about the zinc?
Well,
that we would tax the zinc.
A lot of what you're talking about up there comes from the zinc mines, as I showed you earlier.
Understand.
I brought something, and I don't know that can I show something?
Sure.
I don't know if any of you've ever seen zinc. This is what it looks like when it comes out of the ground. I don't know if any of you've ever seen that, but that's a piece of limestone. I picked this up when I was underground last year. But if you'll notice, can you see that? It looks like fool's gold. Do you notice that? Can everybody see that? That's the zinc. So when we pull zinc out of the ground, we got to take that off. That's why I was saying it's a very expensive process to mine zinc. But also, this is all limestone that's left over. So it's not worth anything to us. But we won't want to pay a severance tax on it.
Do you not have it in 65 other counties in the state?
Do we have zinc? No, we haven't.
No, you have the severance tax.
One speak at a time.
Do we have a severance tax
Yes, sir.
on mining?
Yes.
No, not in 76. Not that I'm aware of.
Not in 65 counties in the state of Tennessee, there's not a mineral severance tax.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, yes.
Okay.
I don't know how many there are.
But also in Smith County, where your smelter is, there's one. Okay. They can also use it for other things other than roads, which we would only use it for here, right?
Right. That's all, that was all bought from Near Star by Rogers Group. The big
Understand.
mountain of stone.
Who owns Near Star?
I don't have an answer to that. I'm sorry. Near Star is.
Near Star owns
They're from
them.
Europe and
Okay.
it's in there. They're on by themselves.
Okay. So, do you have it in Knox County? Whoever knows, I'm sorry, I don't know, I didn't know you knew. Please come up, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Blevins, you asked the question, let him answer it.
I'm Frank Keersmaker, so I work here at the mines.
Speak up, sir, we need to hear you.
My name is Frank Keersmaker, I work here at the mines.
Yes, sir.
I came here in 2010, so I fell in love with Tennessee, and I'm still here. I came for 2 years, and I'm married here now, and fell in love with Tennessee, so.
It's a nice place.
Question.
How many employees do you have at the Jefferson County mines?
So at 500, so we have 520 employees
Okay.
here in East Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
As you know, we had also a mine in Gordonsville, yes. But because
In
of a
East
low-
Tennessee,
In East Tennessee,
but
520.
Jefferson County.
I think Jefferson County is, I think there are 100 at Emmel, so it will be around 420, I think.
How many, I didn't understand.
420,
420,
approximately.
okay. Do you know how many's in Knox County?
So we have 520 people, so.
So the
that's
rest
why
would be there.
guess,
I understand. But there
I'm
is
not sure.
is there not a tax in Knox County?
No.
There's not.
We pay nowhere a tax.
There's not a mineral severance tax in
Well,
Knox
we
County?
don't pay anywhere tax.
Do you sever minerals out of the ground there? I don't,
We don't
No?
pay any tax anywhere,
okay.
so.
Why? I mean, you've been doing it for 100 and something, how many years?
Well, we are more than 100 years. yes.
Okay, but you've never paid a mineral severance tax in Jefferson County or any other county?
No.
Okay,
We are a very low margin, so I don't know if you know, but in Gordonsville, we went in a production pause because it's really very low margin, and we will reopen if the zinc price is better and this and that, but yeah. And then here, we lost for years now a lot of money. We are in a restructuring, we've done that. So in 2 years, we hope to be break even, and hopefully later on we can make money also, of course.
who is your parent company?
Our parent company is Trafigura,
Exactly. Are they not the second largest commodities trader in the world?
yes.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean, but the problem with that is,
That,
they will be very fast to say, oh, we don't make money, that's it. Yes, that's what happened in Gordonsville. And I assure you, you don't want to go through that. We went through that again.
well,
It's hard.
how many times have you saw it go through it here?
It wasn't, for me not, because I came here when
Right.
they bought it, of course, but I think it was closed in 2007,
Right.
I think. And then before it was under a Sarko, I think, well, I don't know, early 2000, I think it was closed also. So it has all to do with zinc price, of course, also. But every cost we have,
Uh-huh. Do
Every
we have,
increase is too much.
do you have the highest grade zinc in the world right here?
We have the highest rated zinc,
Okay.
but our market is local, yes. So we transport to our smelter in Clarksville. The smelter is built for these mines. So now we have to import because Gordonsville is closed
Why did Gordonsville close?
because of cost.
Because of a
We
mineral
lost a
severance
lot of
tax?
money. No, we lost a lot of money,
You lost a lot of money,
yes,
so you closed that. But it's happened before,
yes.
yes, without a mineral severance tax.
Yeah, we have to, look, it's all about cost, yes. So-
Everything's about cost.
And I think we have already a lot of added value to the county, yes. So what we propose is, let's sit together and see how we can find each other. Yes. Let's discuss, how can we help, how can we... It's always, I'm sorry, I can be blunt.
I understand. I don't understand. We're passing a mineral severance tax in this, we're asking to pass one in this county. That 65 out of the 95 other counties in Tennessee have.
But not where we operate.
Smith County does.
We don't pay severance tax in Smith County.
Okay, well,
We extract,
I
we
really
extract
don't know
zinc,
what to tell
yes.
you.
That's what we do, we're in the zinc business.
so if we pass a mineral tax, you will close down, fire people, send them home.
I'm sorry?
If this were to pass, you would send people home, close
Well,
down,
everything
the
will be
mines are
reviewed.
over, the
Hold
zinc
it.
doesn't matter.
Now, both of you can't talk at the same time. Mr. Blevins, you ask a question, let this gentleman answer it. No interruption. Mr. Blevins,
ready?
ask your question.
Okay, my question is, if we pass this here, why would you have to pay it here if you don't anywhere else? I don't, what makes you exempt from it everywhere else that you operate?
I don't know, but we only operate in Gordonsville, yeah. Otherwise.
I don't know either. We're just asking to pass this, like the other counties have. I don't understand why you're exempt there, not here, or why you would have to do it here if you don't anywhere else that already has it. I'll yield the floor. I don't understand how your answer for that one.
Well, we don't have it, so that's the only thing I can say.
But they
I know
do
that
have
we
it.
don't pay it.
Okay, Mr. Blevins, you
I'm
yield?
done. I
Sir,
yield. I'm done.
I'm gonna give you a couple, 3 minutes to explain your situation, and then we're gonna proceed.
Okay, so again, we are a low margin operation, so every penny counts for us. And if we would do this tax, then we will not be break even in 2 years. We will probably be break even in 3, 4, 5, who knows how many years. But everything will be reviewed by our parent company. Our plans are built, also the reopening of Middle Tennessee, our plans are built on the current cost. If that is a new cost, well, that will be reviewed. And I'm not expressing here that we immediately gonna close down and this and that. I just say everything will be reviewed. And we could become in a situation like we are in Gordonsville, that they put it in care and maintenance. We want to avoid that at all costs. Also for my job, I speak for myself also. Yeah? I'm working here also already from 2010. I work for this company from 2001. I want to retire here. And there are a lot of people that work for us that want to retire with us. So I'm asking you actually, please vote against this tax.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Terry Docker.
Chairman, I had the ability to put this back on the agenda because I was on the prevailing side at the last vote that said no to it. So we received some additional information last week. We heard from some citizens. So I won't be clear tonight. And I will not support it. And I do remember, I'm still amazed, in the 80s and 90s, I remember people who would get laid off from the mines. It may be for a few months, it may be several months, but some would come, I know some that came where I was working, and when the mines reopened, some would go back and some wouldn't. I don't know this and that. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Brooks.
Mr. Chairman, I believe my question could be directed to Mr. Chuck. I'm sorry I didn't catch you last night. Step to the podium, please.
Are you familiar with state legislation in the state of Tennessee that has gone through this session that would allow counties to increase the mineral severance tax?
I can only think of one. There was Smith County.
No, this would be statewide, sir.
Well, statewide severance tax?
It would allow counties to increase the mineral severance tax if they choose
Yes.
to. You
I
familiar with
understand
that?
what you're saying. I don't understand your question. I'm sorry.
Are you aware of it? That was my question.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Okay, thank you. It's my understanding that multiple entities within the mining industry actually endorsed that legislation. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with multiple. I'm familiar with one.
And which one was that?
It was the one in Smith County.
Do you know why they did that?
No, I don't. It wasn't any of my members of the mining association. So I'm trying to remember. I did know, but it was no consequence to me.
Would it be House Bill 695, Senate Bill 889? Maybe?
I go through a lot of bills. There's about 3,000 a year.
This county is also operating on extremely slim margins. As you've probably heard some discussion tonight, you guys said you were willing to sit down and work with us, and you even asked, what could you do? I think what you could do would be to endorse this mineral severance tax tonight. That would help us with our budget. You've already stated that the zinc that you guys desire lies in Jefferson County. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Randy Bales.
Both of you, in your humble opinion, probably more you, when it's reviewed by the upper,
In the microphone, Randy.
in your humble opinion, when it's reviewed by the corporate, is there a possibility that gentlemen, people, employees in Jefferson County will lose their job?
I'm very afraid of that.
That's all I got.
So,
Mr. Greg Bird.
Yes, I have a question for the gentleman right here in the green shirt. You mentioned earlier that you hauled for them. Walker Trucking. Okay, and I see your trucks everywhere, appreciate everything you do. If they shut down, how many jobs will you lose?
We have about 40 trucks dedicated to 75.
So it's not just the mines that might be leaving, but you'll be losing a lot of work too.
Sir, you'll have to come to the microphone. Come to the podium.
Sorry. My question to him was, how many jobs outside the mine itself are going to be tied if they shut down?
40 out of our 75 trucks are dedicated for Near Star. So if we lose Near Star, we lose at least 40 right off the top.
So it's not just the mines, it'll also be this trucking company. That was what I was thinking the whole time, because they got to have somebody to haul that out of
Yes,
there.
sir. We all the zinc and the ore, so.
Well, that's my whole thing. I wanted you to put your 2 cents worth on it because it affects you also.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Janet Norton.
Help me understand. The zinc that comes out of this mine, this is not a zinc, this is not a quality of zinc you can get anywhere else, right?
so we have, our smelter in Clarksville is built on for this because we have pure zinc. That is also a disadvantage actually, because other zinc mines, they have copper, they have gold, and we don't have that. So what we have is rock. Rock doesn't bring the money. If we had here zinc and we had gold and copper, we talked a completely different story.
So what is the zinc used for?
The zinc is used primarily
This zinc,
for
yes.
60% I think for galvanizing cars. So in the car
Cars.
industry.
Electric cars.
Zinc, medicine is also zinc, and paint is zinc. So some gutters have zinc. You probably have a watch on. There is some combination of zinc in your watch somewhere. So it's widely used.
Okay.
And we are the only. So and that is also something very important. We have the only primary zinc smelter in the U.S. still.
Yes.
Yes.
Making
So
it very
in Clarksville-
special and they need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Katie Huffaker.
Okay. I don't know who can clarify this for me. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I lost my page. On this resolution, do you have the resolution pulled up? Does anybody have the resolution? It doesn't list as being, does it apply to the zinc or just the limestone, the chert, thank you. Okay, so it's a resolution to levy a mineral severance tax on all sand, gravel, sandstone, chert, and limestone severed from the ground in Jefferson County. So does it even apply to the zinc?
Yes, it does.
It does?
It doesn't say zinc.
But it doesn't say that in our resolution.
Taxing the byproduct.
It says you tax on all sand, gravel, sandstone, chert, and limestone severed from the ground in Jefferson County, Tennessee. Zinc comes from rock.
Okay.
That's exactly what it says. Next, we have Jim Snodgrass. Yeah, it did.
So, you have a single, Tennessee, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
They're a separate, they're not part of your company.
They're part of our company.
They're part of your company.
Yeah, the issue is also, this could have an effect to Clarksville also. Yes, if something happens here, well, then Clarksville is not worth be open either, so it's all one.
All right.
Because Clarksville can't operate with a lot of external ore. And as America, I'm not American by the way, but I feel like an American, yes. We want to mine our own zinc. We don't want to import ore from South America, from everywhere, yes.
Thank you. Let me just walk through that supply chain for a second. So you own the smelter in Clarksville, and where does it go from Clarksville?
Local, to the galvanizers, the car industry. So we a lot in Tennessee, actually, a lot is sold in Tennessee, and I don't know all the details, but it's really very close by. It is trucked, there are trucks. So the process is, so we mine here, yes, we have rock that is trucked to our mill, there we process it, and at the end, we have 63% zinc in that. Wet still, 63%. Then we truck that to Clarksville, where we make 99.9% pure zinc in sheets, and then we melt that in blocks, and those blocks are sold then to the industry, and it's all local. Everything stays almost in Tennessee. Of course, we have a lot of car industry now here also. So.
But, thank you. But your company is like anyone else, right? When your inputs increase, you're going to go back to Walker and say, hey, can you take a couple pennies off here? You're going to go over to the smelter, which you own, and you're going to try to work costs out of that process. And then what you can't get out, you're going to send it to the guys making chain link fence or galvanized nails or whatever that end user, the medical industry, which we know will all make a ton of money. So there's ways to work that out other than the threat of shutting down the plant, because it is the largest source in the United States, as you said, correct? So,
yeah, it's the only source.
All right.
So zinc is linked with LME prices. So there are global prices, what we receive for our zinc. So it is not so easy to say, oh, now we're going to double the price from blocks. Yes? And then they go for alternatives. So for instance, well, the Ford F-150 has aluminum. Has an aluminum body. It's not zinc anymore, not galvanized anymore. So it's all that, what is the car manufacturers, they also try to optimize, yes? So that's what we saw, all of a sudden, aluminum body. So there are alternatives available for a lot of things. That is the risk. And I'm not in the commercial, the selling zinc and this and that, so I'm not in that, but I know it's linked with LME price. So in the London Metal Exchange, that defines the price of zinc.
Thank you.
Hold on just a second here, Joe. John Johnson is ahead of you. We're going to clear up something here.
The resolution, I'm not sure who the zinc, who the severance. Use your microphone, please.
I was just fixing to clear that up, John.
Okay, because if it
I can
is, it's
answer
gonna
that
be-
question.
It's gonna be sold in Gordonsville, so would the remittance go to Gordonsville?
Louder, I can't get closer to
Smithfield?
it. The question at hand right now, how this mineral tax is written is, this is based on when they pay sales tax. When he severs the ground in Jefferson County for zinc, it goes to the smelter. It's not commercially sold, not like gravel is from the rock quarry. What you're talking about is the gravel, the byproduct that is sold that Walker's hauls. They collect sales tax. That's the only way you have of collecting this tax if it was to pass. That's the number for that. It's the same difference right now in Jefferson County, right down here on 2570 at the rock quarry that everybody protested. Right now, that rock's going to Sevier County. Sevier County's getting that sales tax. Jefferson County's not. That's how it works. But see, what we're talking about here, the reason this gentleman's telling you he's not being taxed, he hasn't commercially sold it yet. If he sells it from his smelter, that's when the sales tax would apply. It's his. Until when he leaves Jefferson City to the smelter, on y'all's words, and what y'all testified to tonight in this court, is that you haven't sold it yet. So therefore, you don't pay a sales tax on it, correct?
Well, it's internal, it's all internal.
It's all internal, that is
sale, but
correct.
you
So
sell it
there's
internal.
no commercial sales till a finished product. Let's get this finished up.
There is an internal sale. You sell to your inner.
One time, that's right.
Yep.
You only get to speak one time. Mr. Blevins, you've done spoke. Let's clear this up. Anyone else that hasn't spoke? Mr. Joe Coleman, speak. Mr. Blevins? Let's be quiet and be respectful.
I need to be excused. I've got a wife home that's not feeling well. And so,
Appreciate you coming, sir.
all right, y'all have a good evening.
I see no more requests to speak. We'll proceed to vote. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you.
You've done spoke.
We can't vote on this though, because, right?
There's no motion to vote on it.
There is a motion.
Oh, wait a minute, there is too.
It has to be somebody from the controlling side.
He asked to have it on the agenda.
He did. He did, so there is a motion.
Let's proceed to vote, Mr. Chairman.
Proceed to vote. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Y'all can sit down now. Joe won't be voting. You have 12 noes, 6 yes. This fails. Next resolution, 2025-14, a resolution amending the zoning resolution of Jefferson County, Tennessee to reflect certain prohibited uses and permitted uses in the A1 and C2 zoning districts. Is there a motion on the floor? We have a motion by Austin Brooks and a second by Jim Snodgrass. Question.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
is there anybody that wants to amend this?
It did.
It did.
I want to amend it. And the amended version was sent out to all the commissioners.
Clarity.
The amended version had the, match the definition, description, the wording in the zoning document, so I cross-referenced them back and cleaned up the wording. It removed the temporary use of RVs, which was a concern of the cities, and it added building code use requirements to the different residential zones.
Your amendment is, make sure we get this clear.
Well, the amendment is detailed and it's in the packet that everybody received. Do you want me to read it?
If everybody's good, you don't need to read it. Mr.
Okay,
John,
can I ask?
do you have a question? John Johnson.
When was the amendment, may I ask when the amendment was sent out?
The amendment was handed out at the work session. And can I ask Commissioner Brooks, in the work session, he said he agreed with the amendment. Is that still correct? Do you?
That is correct. And then we have our county attorney, I think, could explain how the process is going to work and exactly what voting on this amendment, what action that triggers if you're okay with it, Mr. Chairman.
This went out to the cities and
So-
some denied it and some amended it.
So, Mr. Chairman, I made the motion on a resolution that passed regional planning at the January meeting. From there, it went to the 3 cities, and then came back, or it didn't come back, it came to this body. That's the motion I've moved. Ms. Huffaker has amended my motion.
Now, we haven't voted on that yet.
Yes, she's offered an amendment.
Sure.
So if the county attorney would like to explain what happens if we vote for this amendment, which I am in favor of.
Real quick, and I know I kind of went through this at your work session, but just so everybody understands the process. When this is the legislative body, you all amend your ordinances and resolutions, okay? In this particular case, with respect to zoning, what you have to do first by statute is if whoever wants to amend the zoning map or wants to amend the zoning resolution, that proposal is sent to the Regional Planning Commission, our Regional Planning Commission. Our Regional Planning Commission then, they can recommend that, they can say, I don't want you to pass it, or they can even suggest changes. Now, what you need to understand is you all have the plenary authority to ignore all of that and vote on what was initially proposed, okay? Just to take this particular piece through the process, it was referred to the Regional Planning Commission. The Regional Planning Commission, I think, recommended, is that right, the first one? Is that right?
Yes.
And then it has to go to the regional planning, by statute, it has to go to the other regional planning commissions. They have the same, they can recommend it, they can deny it, or even suggest things. As I understand what happened in this particular case is, one of the cities suggested, White Pine suggested changes. I want you to understand that amendment, the resolution 2025-14 that initially went to the RPC, initially went to all the regional planning commissions, and is now before you, you could vote on it as is and totally ignore anything those regional planning commissions suggested. Or you can amend it. And if so, it just is referred back to the RPC and just goes through that process. So if Commissioner Huffaker's amendment is actually approved, that's what would happen. In other words, it would go as amended back to the County Regional Planning Commission and the 3 cities. And they would consider that and send it back up to you. And regardless of what they do, again, I'm not going to lament that statutory process, but it's cumbersome and tedious. But if you amend that, it just has to go through that process again. And once again, whenever you consider it again, you can totally ignore what those planning commissions say and vote on it as it was sent to them.
Question or comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a minute, Doug. Since there's been some confusion on the process, I would ask that our county attorney go ahead and type out the process and send it to the mayor and all of the commissioners in the zoning office. That way we have it for future reference on resolutions. But If I could just speak to Ms. Huffaker's motion to amend my resolution, all we're doing is voting to send this to the Regional Planning Commission. This isn't a final approval, so it will come back to us for a final approval. I just want to make sure everyone's crystal clear on that.
Anyone that's not crystal clear on how this is going to work, we're fixing to vote on the amendment that Katie Huffaker has made to Austin Brooks's resolution that he sponsored originally. If you vote to amend it, you're voting to send it back to all three cities, 4. You got a hand up, let's make it quick.
Okay, you asked me to clarify this, so in each one of these sections, for example, each one of these sections, in no event can the use of recreational vehicle, trailer, camper, motor home, tent, or readily removable shed or other structures that do not meet the adopted building codes be considered a principal use, primary use, or accessory use. So that verbiage was added to each one of our zones where we have housing in order to give the building code, the building department teeth to what they're trying to do. So that's why I like the amendment. So it's going to help our building department when they go out and try to enforce when the use of structures that don't meet our codes. That was one of the things. And then the other thing was what the cities were all upset about. That verbiage was removed. So I hope you support it.
Okay, we will proceed to vote on the amendment.
Ms. Hyman's dead.
Commissioner Patterson, did you mean to amend again?
No,
No.
I was asked to.
You ready to vote?
Yep. You are voting for the amendment. We have 15 yes, 2 no. The amendment passes, so therefore it is shown amended. We need to vote on it as amended. You will be voting on the same resolution now as amended. We have 16 yes, 1 no. Passes. It will make the trip back around to the cities once again. Next, we have resolution 25-14. Is that done being? Yeah. It's done been took care of. Need to take that off. We have resolution amending the zoning map of Jefferson County, Tennessee by rezoning property from C2, general commercial, to A1, agriculture, forestry. Not seeing requests to speak, we'll proceed to vote. Need a motion? Mr. Bales.
I'm just gonna tell you, Mr. Lloyd, battery's dead also.
Another dead battery. We have a motion on the floor. It's been seconded.
Uh-oh, I'm dead.
We will proceed to vote.
Commissioner Lloyd?
I'll vote in favor.
We have 18 yes, 0 no's. No, he got a yes out of it, so that's working. 17 yes, 0 no's. Passes. Next, we have Resolution 2025-16, resolution to establish an archives and records management fee in Jefferson County. We have a motion on the floor. It's got a second. We'll proceed to vote. Yes, 0 no. Next, we have Resolution 2025-17, a resolution declaring a surplus to authorize the Circuit Court Clerk of Jefferson County to surplus and dispose of said equipment. We'll proceed to vote. Yes, 0 no, passes. Next, we have resolution declaring a surplus and to authorize Parrotwood Memorial Library of Jefferson County to surplus and dispose of said equipment. Proceed to vote. Yes, 0 no. We will proceed. Passed. Resolution 2025-19, a resolution amending the zoning map, Jefferson County, Tennessee, by rezoning property from rural resort to C2 general commercial. Proceed to vote. Passed 17-0, 1 abstention. Resolution 2025-20, a resolution declaring a surplus and to authorize Jefferson County Juvenile Court to surplus and transfer of said equipment. Mr. John. 18-0, passes. Next, we have Resolution 2025-21, a resolution declaring a surplus to authorize Danridge Memorial Library to surplus and dispose of said equipment. Proceed to vote. Passed 18-0. Moving on to Resolution 2025-22, resolution declaring a surplus and to authorize Jefferson County Sheriff's Office to surplus and dispose of said equipment. Proceed to vote. Passed 18-0. Moving right along. Next, the meeting schedule for County Commission 2025 to 2026. Katie Huffaker.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we go back to our 8-month calendar, January, February, March, April, July, September, October, and November schedule. If you look at the document that was in our packet that CTAS did for the 2024-2025 study on the counties, there are only 3 counties in the state of Tennessee that meet quarterly. We're one of them, along with Henderson and Bledsoe. All the other counties meet monthly, bi-monthly, weekly, and we would function better if we went back to our old schedule. So I would like to make a motion, if anybody else is in support of it, to go back to the 8-month calendar that we used to follow.
Katie Huffaker made a motion. I've got a motion on the floor from Austin Brooks and Rob Blevins. Got a second from Janet. So which one we reading?
Your motion on the floor is moving this calendar.
Moving the calendar.
No.
That's the motion.
I didn't think so.
That's what's on the agenda.
No. I hit my motion button, but then the chairman recognized Katie first, which is okay. I agree with
sorry.
Katie.
Okay.
It's fine, it's fine.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Do you wish to speak, sir?
I do wish to speak. We want to go with Katie's motion.
Sure.
Does Katie have a second?
Yes.
Okay. So on the 8-month meeting schedule, first, does anybody else need to plug their computer in? I think we're knocking on 10 o'clock now. It doesn't have to be this way. We could have meetings more regularly, spread the work out, have more engagement with our communities. We could do a lot better job for our county if we met more regularly. I think it's extremely important that we vote in favor of Katie's motion to go to the 8-month meeting schedule. If we're not going to do our jobs, why sit up here if we're just going to come here 4 times a year? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Not seeing any other requests to speak, we will proceed to vote.
Mr. Dockery, request to speak.
Oh, Mr. Dockery, didn't see that one.
The motion on the floor, does that go back? You're calling it 8-month voting schedule. How many voting sessions and how many work sessions is that?
Katie?
Oh, so it would be the same amount of work sessions, right? That's what we did before?
So 8 voting meetings and 8 work sessions?
Yes.
Well, I'm not opposed to meeting more often by any means, but I'm going to vote against it, and if it fails, then I'd like to offer a motion as well that we meet once a month. We eliminate the work sessions because we tend to rehash everything twice. Eliminate the work session, meet once a month, and every meeting be a voting meeting. Thank you.
We will vote on the first motion that was on the floor. You have 9 no, 9 yes, no movement. Mr. Dockery, are you wanting to offer a motion?
Yes, I move that we eliminate the work sessions completely. We meet once a month in a voting session on the same second Monday of the month as 9, unless it falls on a holiday.
Is there a second? Hang on just a second here, we got to catch up.
Second Monday.
Is that what we do now?
Work sessions typically on the second Monday, voting on the third.
That's right.
Third Monday, unless it's a holiday.
12 months. You said every month, correct?
Correct. So that's 12 meetings a year to take action.
12
Once
meetings
a
a year to
month.
take action.
No work sessions.
We shall proceed to vote. Hold up just a second here, we got to get this straight. Terry Dockery's motion, Randy Bell seconded it. Oh, that looks like Marcus snuck by him. Yeses have it, 12 to 6. So your schedule will be,
I got a question.
Mr. Tim.
How you gonna do your, public hearings for the zone, rezone?
Yeah. Will that work?
I don't know, you may have to ask Doug on that.
I believe you
Will that
can.
work, Doug? I
As
don't-
long as you have a public hearing and you get it within the time frame, doesn't have to take place.
Okay.
You don't have to have specific kind of work session.
We always had them in the workshop.
The only thing,
Since 98.
the only thing I would say unsolicited is your rules, have when you can add agenda items. And you can add, you used to be able to add them at work session. You see what I mean? So in July, change, the only thing I would say is you might consider amending your, you know what I mean, your normal county commission rules to reflect when you're needing stuff on the agenda. But you can have the hearing anytime.
Okay. So you can have, another question, Doug, you can have the public hearing the same night you vote on the rezoning?
Sure. I think, well, let me say this. It's usually, you have to give 15 days notice of the hearing. I don't know of a prohibition with respect to having the public hearing on the same day as the vote, as long as there's enough time, as long as it's advertised enough. I mean, I'd have to do some looking off the top of my head.
Better let them know.
Yeah, I will. Well, I would have to, my understanding of it, just again, off the top of my head, is you have to give 15 days notice prior to the vote.
Right.
So if you notice the public hearing and you had the public hearing on the same day as the vote, you could do that, assuming you had that time, best I know. But I will check on that.
Would the same rule not apply for the, when we pass the tax rate, we have a hearing at the beginning of the meeting and then we actually vote on the tax rate?
You would still have to comply with state law, whatever that is.
Right, I got you.
I mean, in other words, the meeting schedule wouldn't change that.
So we have a new meeting schedule. We will be adjourning shortly and there will be a beer board. We have no announcements at this time. Who was your second?
I'll second it.